अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome all the devotees for our Shikshastakam module. We are in the verse 2 and let's recite the Shikshastakam and then take the verse 2. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadhava nirvapanam श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्। नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः। एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशमिहाजनिनानुरागः। तृणायपि सुनीचेन तरोरिवासहिष्णुना अमानिना माननीना कीर्तनीया सदा हरि। न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरी कवितां वा जगदीशकामये। मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिर्हैतुकी त्वयि। मयि नन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ। कृपया तव पादपङ्कज स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया नयनं विलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा। पुलकैर्विचितं वपुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति। युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्द विरहेण मे। आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां नस्तु माम् अदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा। यथा तथा भावयधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम Rama Rama Hare Hare. पूर्वे अष्ट श्लोक करी लोके शिष्टा दिला सेई अष्ट श्लोकेरा अर्थ आपने आस्वादिला प्रभुर शिष्टाष्ट का श्लोका यही पढ़े सुने धारे कृष्ण प्रेम भक्ति तारा भाड़े दिने दिने. So Mahaprabhu used to sing these verses to give us to give the all the living beings the essential wisdom of life, of the philosophy of Vedas, and also to relish the rasa, the sweetness of Krishna's names, Prabhura Shikshastakam, the sweetness of Krishna's bhakti. And one who reads this, one who meditates this regularly, Ei pade, ei shune, tara bhade dine dine. So the more we meditate on this, the meaning of these verses, and we chant and recite, more and more our love for Krishna is going to increase. So anyone does any activity when there is an increase in the wealth or the outcome of that particular activity. So the more and more someone will churn the butter, churn the milk, so that more and more butter can come. So in this way, the more and more we know, we try to live by these principles of Shikshastakam. More and more we try to read and recite and go deep. More and more our love for Krishna is going to increase, because at the end of the life, it's that love for the Lord that's going to be the only eternal factor uh, that's going to be there. Everything else is ephemeral. It is temporary. It's there today. It's not going to be there tomorrow. Recently, I was hearing one particular Raju Malhotra. He was kind of having an interview with this Nityananda Baba or Swami. You might have seen this uh, uh, personality having his own country called as Kailash. So he was proposing to him that no, somebody earns so much of money in this life, but then he leaves all that and he goes to some other body and he can't access, he doesn't even know. So if we make a technology by which uh, if I take a life, then I should be able to know what was my previous life, and I should be able to ensure all the money that I have earned in this life, that I can access it in the next life. And so if you make this kind of insurance policies, that current insurance policies are only that the money will be available to your relatives, your family once when you die. But if you bring out an insurance policy, that money will be available to you after you die, and wherever you take birth, the money will be available for you there. So then, a lot of people will want to put their money into this kind of investment insurance, because the money is going to come to them. Unfortunately, such a setup is not there. All that we earn, all the money that we earn, is going to be kept here at Bex. It can insure family members, say, comforts, but it's not going to help in our own journey once it satisfies the basic needs of eating, sleeping, drinking, whatever is there. Roti kapda makan, as they say. So therefore, a devotee has to consciously keep focusing on what is that eternal wealth, what is that that's going to be there, what is the true wealth. And the true wealth is Krishna Prem, love for Krishna. And we keep that as the goal, and we keep working towards that regularly we can investing in that. Nowadays, SIP is for famous systematic investment plan. So this is our spiritual investment plans, SIP, where we are investing our energies materially, but they get transformed spiritually over period of time. And in the first verse of Shikshastakam, the seven excellences, the seven glories of the holy name were described to inspire us to take to chanting. And what is the what does it mean to chant as Sankirtan? We discussed that aspect. And in the second verse of the Shikshastakam, Lord's holy names power and their grace is being described. At the same time, one's own difficult position where because of Durdaiva, not being fortunate, because of being unfortunate, I am so unfortunate. So how does our misfortune arise? Our misfortune arises when we commit offenses, when we offend the holy name, or when we offend the path of bhakti in different ways. And we were discussing the 10 offenses to the holy names last time. And let me see, where is, we discussed the glory of the holy name and also the 10 kinds of offenses that are there. The first one we discussed, and the second one also we had discussed, how the names of Vishnu and Shiva, they should not be equated. At the same time, they should not be differentiated. So they are not same. At the same time, they are not different. This is what is known as Achintya Veda Veda Tattva. Milk is curd, but milk is not curd. Or milk is curd, becomes curd, but curd doesn't become milk. So in this way, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva, they are very closely knitted. So therefore, when one offends any of the devatas, I was speaking about the story of Daksha, that Daksha, he respected Lord Vishnu, but he disrespected Lord Shiva. And then he fell down. Then there was Banasura who worshipped Lord Shiva, but he disrespected Lord Vishnu. He was also defeated. He fell down. Then we have Ravana, who was also who worshipped Lord Shiva, but he disrespected Vishnu. So, so the Bhagavatam tells both stories. If you worship Vishnu and if you disrespect Shiva, then you will fall down like Daksha, the way Daksha fell down. And if you disrespect Vishnu and you worship Shiva, then also the holy name doesn't affect. So, and Prabhupada, he translates this as that to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or non-different from Lord Vishnu. So they are not equal. At the same time, because these positions are given by the Supreme Lord, they are expansions of Supreme Lord, we cannot minimize their glory. So as I was going through the 10 offenses, there was a nice bit of seminar that was given long back about the offenses. So I just thought I'll go through this offenses. The first offense is Satam Ninda. That Sadhu Ninda is the first offense. Where is that? Yeah. Satam Ninda Namna Paramam Aradam Vitanute. That to vilify the devotees that are glorifying the Lord, because Yatak Kyatim, because they are spreading the Lord's glory. Yatam Kyati. Yatam Khatam tu Sahate Tad Vigraham. So the Lord doesn't tolerate. There is a story that once a sadhu was going into a temple, and because he was not properly dressed and the timing was not proper, so the sadhu was not allowed inside. So you could not go because we don't know your caste or different things. And then the sadhu was chanting outside the temple, and he was crying, "Oh Lord, we glorify you everywhere, and it is हम आपके agents, we are your agents. It is because we go and glorify you in different parts of the country that people want come to take your darshan. And now you are not letting me only to come inside. What is this? This is not right. If you don't uh, know with any ticketing, any kind of enterprise, there's always a agents section. Like if you become the agent of of the company, say for flights, for railways, then you get some special access, some bulk access. So the sadhu was saying, Lord, we are your agents. It is we who go and try to book people, yeah, their journey to you, and you're not letting me only to come to you. What is this? It's not right. I'll stop becoming your agent. I'll stop glorifying you. So just out of sadness of that the Lord didn't, we couldn't take darshan. He was just praying, speaking to the Lord like this from the from the outside the temple to the chakra that is there. And then the Lord spoke to him that, "Oh, my devotee, what to speak of you? They are not even letting me go inside." In the sense that where the devotees are not respected, the Lord is also not respected, and the Lord doesn't want to be there. So when the devotees are not let in, then the Lord also doesn't go in. So therefore, it is important that we stay away from committing this Vaishnava aparadh. So the first offense is the way to commit to offend a Vaishnava, and and the root of Vaishnava, the cause of Vaishnava aparadh is bad association. That when you associate with people that are not on the path of Krishna consciousness, that are not trying to grow towards eternity, when you do asat sangha, and because of that bad association, you start to see devotees with those lenses, with materialistic eyes, and then you commit offenses, you misunderstand them, you misjudge them, or you unnecessarily speak something that which is not supposed to be spoken about them. So one type of asat sangha is called as the association with opposite sex. For a man to associate with a female in an improper way, or for a female to associate with a man illicitly. So the para Stri Sangha is illicit kind of association where lust becomes so prominent that the person he starts to offend. There is the story of Bilomangal Thakur, where he was so much driven by lust for Chintamani that his parents, his father was had to be buried, has to be put funeral pyre, but he was so much swayed by lust that he just left that place and he ran after Chintamani in pursuit to have her. So when there is lust, then we out of lust for that particular object or particular person, then we offend those that are coming in the middle way. And then there is association with those who are not devotees, and this is particularly four types. One is the Mayavadis, those who are not devotees, those who believe in an impersonal conception of the Lord, that God doesn't have form, or everything is ultimately illusion. So when we kind of hear those kinds of talks or people, there is this lot of talk about everything is an energy, that you respond to you call out to the universe and the universe responds to you, where there is no person there. It is just the universe that is giving you back what you are putting it out. So all these kinds of uh, talks or uh, speeches, when someone associates or someone hears, then that makes one uh, fall into bad association, because then what is Yushva Sevad Angra? One of the biggest troubles with Mayavad association is that because ultimately everything is illusion, then there is, or everything is, everyone is God, then there is no concept of genuinely serving. You are serving to take over that person's position, and therefore there is the service attitude is very temporary, or it is very hollow. And if everything is illusion, then why even serve? So therefore, the whole concept of serving uh, Krishna is removed by the Mayavadi conception that ultimately everyone becomes God. Then there are atheists, and sometimes their faith uh, in their doubt in God is more stronger than our faith in God. And I remember when I was doing my master's in Chicago, we used to go for book distribution, and I went to this Kellogg School of Management, one of the the best in the world for MBA. And as I was distributing books there, Bhagavad Gita, trying to give out books there, I met one guy from India who who didn't believe in God or any of this. That he was a hardcore Darwinist, that how everything evolves, and he was doing his PhD in neurology, in neurosciences. And because I was also from technical field, me from IIT Bombay, so that I will be able to kind of defeat him, his conceptions about Darwin's theory, because when I had a lot of arguments before I accepted Prabhupada's version that life comes from life, life just doesn't come from chemicals. So then one day we had an appointment. Let's meet together, and I went to his uh, apartment, his dorm, and then we had like 3-4 hours of discussion. And then he was throwing in so much technical jargon about the neuroscience field or this the evolutionary concept. And very soon I started to realize that this guy cannot be bent down with logic, because his logic is much more stronger than the logic that we are using, or his doubt is much stronger than my faith. So sometimes we get into these kinds of situations where we meet people that are very strongly atheistic, and then they start to destroy our faith. Just few days back, somebody uh, one family came to me, and all their friends are nagging them, they're bullying them, that why are you wearing this tilak, or this kanti mala, offering to this laddu gopal. They traveled to some place and they carried their laddu gopal, and whatever they were cooking, or they said first we have to feed this uh, lord, and then only we can have. So it was appearing very strange to all their relatives, friends, that ये क्या है, छोटे डॉल को मूर्ति को लेके आके सब जगह जा रहे हैं. And especially in cultures where these kind of things are not seen much, like personally serving the Lord. Most homes, Laddu Gopal is there, but he is only remembered once a year on Janmashtami date. Maybe some puja is done. Other days is the same cloth that was put 1 year back. It's still on the person's on the Lord's form. So this particular family they were encountered by घेर लेते हैं ना कभी. All of you might have experienced that when you become a devotee and you go to some family function or social function, then everybody इसको आज पकड़ते हैं, and people try to corner you. They try to question, make you give up your faith. So he was so they were asked, okay, if God, if भगवान को क्यों चढ़ाते हैं? कृष्ण, because God gives everything. So then they asked, so if भगवान को कौन देते हैं? If everything is given by God, then who gives to God? So they didn't had an answer for that. So then they came to me, Prabhuji, ये ऐसा पूछ रहे, क्या बोलना चाहिए? They have faith, but they don't have shastric understanding about to tell. So I just give two examples. This may also work with you, it may not work. So I said, see, this bulb is getting light from electricity that is flowing, and electricity is getting light from, say, thermal power, some power. Ultimately, all the electricity in the world is coming from sun. Now, where is sun getting its electricity from? Its power from, its heat from? It's not getting from anywhere. It's the sun is self-effulgent, and it is a fact that you have to accept. For everything else, yes, my mobile is charged by electricity, my light is charged, so everything is charged by something. But ultimately, there is a sun which is not charged by anything. It is there. Or I give another simple example. Say you are working in your company. Who pays you salary? Say so and so person pays. And who pays him the salary? His boss pays him the salary. And then I said, but isn't there someone in your company who is not paid salary by anyone and who pays salary to everyone? So yes, that is the boss. So the boss is not paid, but he pays everyone. So same way, Krishna, he is not paid, he is not born, but he is the one who is giving everything. So even in this world, if there is a person who is not paid, but who pays everyone, then what to speak of the Lord who is managing everything? How does that one person, he gets the profits? Same with the Lord, is self-sufficient, and he can he gives everyone, but he doesn't need anything for himself. So we all the time meet people who are atheistic, who tend to know, and when we are shaken by those faith, then we may tend to go away, and we may minimize the path of bhakti or devotees. Why are devotees being this way? Then there are the sense enjoyers who tend to pull you towards sense enjoyment. That one sip of cigarette, one sip of alcohol, or a puff of tobacco is not bad. Let's have, don't be so fanatic, don't be so idiotic. Just be Roman in Rome. When you go to the temple, you be a devotee. Yeah. Recently, another devotee was telling me that when they went to someone's house, and they were being offered some kind of non-vegetarian, and he said, no, we cannot eat because we are wearing a kanti mala. So very surprisingly, that person, he said, ठीक है, कंटी वाला निकाल लो, खा लो, फिर बाद में कंटी वाला पहन लेना. And of course, for this they have the answer, sir. अरे हम कोई ऐसा कंपनी का कोई ऐसा ये नहीं है, कार्ड नहीं है कि ओके कंपनी का कार्ड में साइन कर दिया and then you go and do your own. This is we are answerable to Krishna, God, who is there everywhere. So it's not just if I remove the kantimala, he's not going to see, and that's not what is proper. So different kinds of People try to lure us for sense enjoyment. And then there are the hypocrites, those who are partly devotees, partly sense enjoyers, and they kind of tend to tell us that it's okay to be wishy-washy. Uh, that okay, when you on some days you can be that way, on some other days you can be this way. And there are those who are like staunch devata worshippers, and then they deny worshipping only one god. How can that the all these devatas will get offended, or my kul devi will get offended? Of course, we don't offend anyone. We And by worshipping Krishna, all the devatas they become pleased. So these five are considered to be non-devotee association. So when we associate with Mayavadis or with atheists or sense enjoyers or hypocrites or demigod worshippers, then they tend to feed into us thoughts that may minimize the position of Krishna, or that may minimize the position of bhakti, or that may minimize the position of a devotee, of a Vaishnava. That they okay, this Vaishnava, what is he materially capable of, and accordingly you tend to see, because when somebody is in material circle, then everyone is judged by their external accomplishments. So same thing can happen once we start to associate with non-devotees. So we should be careful that we don't uh, let the value of devotees be minimized by any of these five people. And the effect of asasang is it destroys bhakti. And then we may commit these 6 types of Vaishnava aparadh. I wanted to speak this last time, but now it has come in this. So this is a verse that is spoken by Shamika Rishi, when Parikshit Maharaj puts this uh, snake around him, and then he goes, and then mm, Shringi curses him that let him die in 7 days by the bite of Takshaka. And when Parikshit Maharaj hears this curse, he doesn't, uh, he accepts this curse gracefully, and he doesn't retaliate. So at that time, Shamik Rishi speaks that how tolerant are the devotees, not because they are weak, but they are so powerful, that they are so internally filled up with Krishna that anything externally doesn't disturb them. So Hanti Nindanti Vaidveshti Vaishnavanam Navit Nandanti Khidyate Yatino Harsham Darshane Patanani Sat. So the meaning is that that Hanti, that the most grossest type of offense is when one kills a devotee. Any example for this in the scriptures, that somebody killed a devotee? You can put in chat any stories you know, any episodes you know. There were around how many devotees? 16 devotees. So this is a homework for you. Next time I'll ask and see. Let's see who all come up with answers. So this is a homework. Who committed this offense of killing a devotee? One who kills devotee. Navi Nindan Hanti. Then there is Nindanti. Sorry, too far ahead. So Hanti, and then Hanti is killing. Then Nindanti is that you blaspheme or you criticize a devotee, that you see find some fault in some devotee. So, so if you are aware of any example, please speak. Please write on the chat, or else it's no work. Why dveshti? One who envies a devotee, that you become jealous of a devotee. Vaishnavanam navinandati. One who fails to offer obeisances to a devotee on seeing. So when you are not, when you're not offering pranam to or acknowledging the presence of a devotee, not being happy, Vaishnavanam nabhinandati, that you're not happy in not seeing a devotee, you're not reciprocating with a devotee when he comes in front of you. Ambarish and Durvasa. Okay, that's a blasphemy of devotee. Then Khedyate Atino Harsham. So being angry with a devotee, that you're shouting on someone, you're being angry on someone, and not becoming joyful upon seeing a devotee. Darshane patananittat. That so if you cannot offer obeisances, at least don't become angry on someone on that why did you come late or this or that, and not becoming joyful. That as soon as we do see sometimes we could so used to devotees that there is no more joy. In fact, we tend to feel we aurikagya or aurikagi. So these six are considered to be offending a devotee. And obviously killing a devotee is the grossest. Thank you, Deepika Mataji, for mentioning about one of the offenses that Durvasa committed to Ambarish Maharaj, that he blasphemed the devotee and he wanted to kill a devotee. He was also angry upon the devotee, angry with the devotee. He failed to offer obeisances to devotee. Yes, he was not joyful. I'm not sure when he came. I'm sure he was joyful, but later he was not joyful to see him. So an example of needle and sieve is given in the when we are seeing some fault with some devotee. Then I'm sure you might have heard this saying that once a needle, once a sieve, जो है ना चाय पत्ती, one that which we filter tea or coffee or herbal tea. The sieve was telling to the needle, why do you have a hole in your back? And the sieve is filled with holes, but the sieve is not seeing its own holes, and it is only seeing the one hole which is in the needle at the back, the two at the back, and he is trying to find a fault. So this is what many times happens, that we tend to see some devotee's fault, although we are covered with such fault ourselves so many times more. There's that's just saying that when you see some kind of fault in someone, then we should know that I am only able to see this fault because that fault is primarily in me, and therefore in that person I am seeing this. It is said that only when someone has lust, he can notice that lust in others. When someone is in the mode of service, then he also, when somebody is innocent, he sees innocence in everyone. When somebody is greedy, when somebody is corrupt, then he is thinking everyone else is corrupt. Atmavan manyateja. So when we say finding faults, then we should know that we are also having that faults, but instead of seeing in ourselves, we are looking at others' faults. In the Chaitanya Charita, Mother Sachi Devi's offense is explained that once Mahaprabhu, he was telling that that everyone will go back to Vaikunta except my mother. And devotees were all very unhappy that your mother is so pure, she is the mother of the universe, and it is by her blessings and grace that you have bhakti. But why are you saying that no, your mother will not go back to God, will not go to Vaikuntha? And that time uh, Mahaprabhu, he explained that, in the I was very small as little Nimai Pandit. That time, I I used to go to Advaita Acharya's house to associate with devotees. The devotees headed by Advaita Acharya and his own brother Vishwarup. They used to have kirtan, and they used to have such nice kirtan in the house of Advaita Acharya, and nice such discussions. And sometimes Vishwambhar, Mahaprabhu, as little name, I used to go and call his brother. And later, after some years, Vishwarup took sannyas. And Sachi Devi, in that anguish of losing her son, she was uh, finding fault with Advaita Acharya. That because my son went to this Advaita Acharya's house, therefore he left the home. So that way she kind of found fault with Advaita Acharya. And Mahaprabhu was mentioning that because you are finding faults with devotee like Advaita Acharya, therefore Krishna is not happy with you, and therefore you won't. Uh, and that time Advaita Acharya, he mentioned that, Lord, I am not at all unhappy with Mother Sachi Devi. In fact, it is only out of her love for you and for Vishwarup that she was saying that. And so please forgive her. And saying that way, Advaita Acharya fainted. And when Advaita Acharya fainted, then Sachi Devi, she went and she took the dust of Advaita Acharya on her feet, on her head. And that way, the offense that Mother Sachi committed of finding a fault with Advaita Acharya was removed. And then, then Mahaprabhu, then, he said that actually what I wanted to tell to the world the gravity of offending a devotee. But otherwise, it is my mother's bhakti, which is I'm carrying. All the bhakti that I have is only because of whatever love she has for Krishna. So that only I am reflecting. So he glorified Mother Sachi Devi's great devotion. At the same time, whatever was this offense, he also mentioned to her. So either no fear of losing something or envy that why is that person having something. We tend to offend devotees. So the solution for Vaishnava Prabhupada mentions that there are 6 types of vision. One type of vision is only to see bad, that we only see bad in others. Another is to see good and bad, but focus only on the bad. That you are able to see both, but you focus more on the bad. Another is that there is a lot of good and there is a little bad, but you tend to magnify the bad. छोटा सा गलती किया, but उसको बहुत बड़ा करके बताते हैं, or you only speak about that. Then there is another vision, which is you see good and bad, but you choose to focus only on the good and not particularly mention about the bad. Another is where even if a person does small little service, he is only that thing is focused. And the last way is to magnify the good. That Prabhupada, when he went to West, that these people, they were just accepting prasad. And Prabhupada writes that I think Mahaprabhu's mission is going to be successful in the Western world because these boys like the prasad today. that they very much appreciated the prasad, not even the holy name, not even the philosophy, just prasad they appreciated, and Prabhupada is glorifying them that they appreciated the prasad, therefore they will be very soon be delivered. So when we have the vision, at least of the higher three and not the lower three, then we will be able to overcome the offense. Bhaktivedanta Thakur used to say that, no, when you find faults in others, then you understand that it is your own faults that you are seeing in others. And so he said that when you find faults in others, misguide and delude you, one should have patience. Like, don't just pick it out, whatever you feel. Be introspective, ponder on it, that maybe there is something that wrong that I did, because of which he is. So find faults in oneself. So I'm seeing the fault that he didn't reciprocate, but where was the fault in me because of which such kind of response came? And others cannot harm you unless you harm yourself. So it's not that that person is offending you, it is that we who are taking that offense as something. Sometimes somebody wants to vilify us, but we are not bothered by it. As Buddha says that it is a tendency of the dogs to bark, but the elephant doesn't stop for the dogs. It just continues to walk. So when we tend to get affected, then the offense is more troublesome. But if you're not being bothered by the faults that others are having, and you try to rectify yourself, then you grow. Uh, the last slide about of this offenses. Sorry, two more slides. How do you overcome fault finding? That we first of all have a spiritual master whom we are open to take correction from. So if we in our life there should be someone who has the rights to correct us, and who has the information to correct us. Uh, Many times those who have information in our life, they don't have the right. We don't give them the right. Say, जो तुम्हारे पास अधिकार नहीं है करने के लिए. And those who have the right, they don't have the information. What all we are doing. So to have somebody in our life who has both the right, RTI Act, right to information, both the right to correct, and also the information about what is happening in our life, either we share or they are so close to us that they are more or less aware of what's happening. So then there will be somebody who will be able to help us to. So there are these 5 principles that cultivate finding good nature. So don't try to always find faults with others. No one is an eternal rogue. That temporarily, that's because of situation, because of circumstances, somebody is wrong, behaving wrongly. Try to see Krishna everywhere, in everyone. Change the attitude, and try to serve devotees with humility. There is that story that once a boy had killed another of his batchmates, and in the court trial, what the mother asked of the as a punishment for this boy was to because that boy was an orphan, that I want to raise that kid who killed my son. Anyway, I don't have a son, so he has been killed. So at least if that boy can be given to me to be raised, then I will. Then that's the punishment that I want. That's the reward I want. So everyone was surprised, by wanting that kid as be raised by you. Anyway, he came home, and that boy was constantly in suspicion that when will she uh, kill me? Maybe she'll put some poison, she'll torture me or something, or she'll bind me. So constantly, he was all the time, he was very, very fearful of her. But over course of time, she gave so much love that slowly, that fear in him that she's going to kill him vanished. And then he also became very loving to her. And some years passed, and then later she was telling, why I took you as my son, in place of my son. So then, he was very interested to hear. So yes, yes, madam, yes, mother. Why did you take me as a son when I was so much, sinful? I killed your own son, but neglecting all that, you had me as your son. So this mother said that no, I hated that boy who killed me. And in fact, I hated that boy so much, uh, who killed my son, that I wanted to kill him. And to kill him, I took you as my son. So this time he was even more fearful. So whatever he was fearing till now, that only to kill me, she has taken me. And then she said that, and I'm happy to say that that boy who had killed my son has died now, because within you is no more that anger, no more that insecurity, no more that fear, because of which you will commit such an offense, such a crime. So she saw that, that evil in him as something different than the person in him, and she wanted to kill the evil. So she wanted to kill the son who killed her son, but not physically, but at the heart level. So same way, we do want to remove the evil in people's lives, but if you're not able to see the goodness in them, then all that we are overcome is that even Arjuna, he says this, Dharta Rashtrasya Durbuddher, Yuddhe Priya Chikirshava. He says to Krishna in the beginning of the battle that, oh Krishna, I uh, see that the sons of Dhritarashtra are having an evil mind. He doesn't say that the Duryodhana is evil. He's saying that Duryodhana is overcome by evil, that he's having a evil mind. And so therefore, so Arjuna, he wanted to forgive Duryodhana because he was able to see the evil different from the person, and then the work can be done properly. So this is a solution that the scriptures offer for us to overcome the first offense, to overcome the second offense, which is, to equate the demigods or God, the Brahma and Vishnu as the same, is to know that worshipping Krishna is sufficient. Krishna is the root of all existence. Once you fill your tummy, all your entire body's limbs are nourished. Therefore, worship of Krishna is sufficient. Offer prasadam to the devatas. Even if you have any Devi devatas in your home, you can worship them as a, after you worship Krishna, and offer them prasadam. And this is an important point, that never disrespect the devatas, because that's also an offense. And understand the principle of demigod worship is that for some particular results, in say your health or your acats, but when we go to Krishna, it is for our spiritual growth. It is not for all these material achievements. So for material achievements, you can work hard yourself, or you can, get some help from these devatas, give them that particular strength for these activities, but never just, be on the. So when someone is just on the material level, not thinking about spiritual aspect, then for him all the devatas appear to be same. But once one understands the spiritual elevation is more important than just material comforts, then the the demigod worship is no more something that is sufficient. When demigods help and when they impede, Indra. So Indra, when was so overcome by ego that he initially troubled the Devata, troubled the Vrajvasis, but later he helped uh, in so many in making that Govinda Kund or in other pastimes. Indra has come even in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Lila to assist in. So all the devatas always assist the Lord. They are always assistants. So, what is that verse that says that all the devatas, yet suraya, that all the devatas are constantly looking at the Lord's lotus feet. And because Krishna is the Rasaraj, all the rasa is coming from Krishna's name only, and therefore we don't need to unnecessarily either depend on them for spirit, and especially understanding that they cannot help us in spiritual elevation. All the needs of the body and mind, they may be in charges, but the needs of the soul of love, only Krishna can fulfill that. So it said, if you offend, in case either some Devi, some Devata or Krishna in this regard, first is to repent if you have equated them. Another is try to remember Krishna, try to chant more, increase one's understanding of Krishna consciousness, constantly chanting Krishna's names. So in this way, we will be able to overcome the offenses. So next week, we will take disregarding Guru. Of course, these were more points about Vaishnava Aparadh, which is important. Because even Guru Aparadh is also something important, which if not done, if we're not aware of this, how do we commit that offense, what causes the offenses, and how do we rectify, then we will naturally go into them. So the third offense onwards, so hopefully we should be able to complete the offenses part in the next session. But for now, we'll stop and see if there are any questions about the discussion that we had till now. I'll give permission to unmute.
Yeah. Prabhuji, can you just clarify exactly what should be our consciousness as far as the demigods are concerned, Prabhuji, so that we don't commit any offense either to Krishna or to the demigods?
Devatas are all the limbs of the Lord's administrative plan. So there is the home ministry, there is the defense ministry in the nation. So same way in the universal administration, there are different ministries, and they are so dear to Krishna, and they are so empowered by Krishna because they are so responsible children of the Lord, that God gives them those powers. And we respect that power as Krishna's power, and we respect these beings as being such trustworthy servants of the Lord, that Lord could give them so much power. So the power they carry, we see it as Krishna's reflection, his power that they are manifesting, and the position they are carrying is because of the sincerity they have shown in their own bhakti. So when we go to the demigods, we pray for that sincerity that empowered, that brought them to this most powerful position. And even if we ask for those powers or for the grace of those powers, we ask that please bestow the grace that God has given you, Krishna has given you, so that I can serve Krishna better. We need facilities to serve Krishna better, and powers, and Krishna gave them those so that they could serve Krishna. And the same mode, that let me not think that these are my powers, that let me use these powers, let me use some facility in Krishna's service, and for that we are going to the in case we approach them. So the position and the power, we respect both. Power as Krishna's reflection, his grace that is upon them, and position because the positions are all already set. Ganesh is a position, Durga is a position, Surya is a position. So all these posts are there, and all these living beings like us, by their bhakti, by their lifetimes, they excel so much that they are at that stage that Krishna gave them that responsibility. So it is to their credit that God trusts them so much. So we pray that kind of sincerity. Whether Krishna gives them us that post or not, it is up to him. But we want to serve.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
We appreciate them, and at the same time, we also see the bigger picture behind them. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Mataji.
Very nice lecture, Prabhuji. Could I get last week's recording, please? Because I missed that.
Last week's recording?
That was instead of Tuesday, you have taken, I think, on Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. It's not yet uploaded?
No, not. I haven't got. Please, Prabhuji.
Okay. I'll ensure that. We'll
okay.
upload.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? If there are none, we will. So we wanted obviously the Omicron is still a little bit around, so that is understood. But hopefully, we would want to have physical classes along with the hybrid classes. In case it's not working out, yes, we will always at least have the Zoom going on. So please give any kind of suggestion or any way that you feel was any other day or timing that is more convenient for a physical gathering. If any of you have some kind of thing that Tuesday these times are not fitting for coming to the temple, please suggest. We'll try to consider. Otherwise, we'll see. We will complete this module for sure. We want people to now come to the temple more and more and sit physically and interact with each other. So now we all know we log off, then we are all on our own in our own world. Tana Mataji is there, Viraj is there, Deepika ji is there, but we can't see each other or no can we talk only after the class. So if there are any suggestions, please open up. Otherwise, you can give to Radhika Kishori Mataji or Asha Mataji.
Prabhuji, I think right now to come to the temple is going to be a little difficult because we all have older people in the house. We all have younger children, very young grandchildren in the house, so who are not vaccinated. So I think for a while, for me at least, it would be very difficult to come to the temple for a class, Prabhuji.
Okay.
As much as I would like to.
Yeah. No, that's what we want to know. Are there still some things at the back of the mind? Because at the temple side, things have all opened up. But in temple, there are no more restrictions. But if there are still some concerns that devotees are having at their homes. So still the concern for the children and old people are out there. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So,
Prabhu, if I may comment, Hare Krishna. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate all the concerns, but somehow I feel that, the in-class sessions are always the best. So if at all we could have, a hybrid model.
Yes, yes, yes. But we need at least 5, 6 devotees to at least come turn up. Today it
Yeah.
seemed to be like just 1 or 2 were there, and there was some kind of work also that was happening around the hall that we were going to do the program. So therefore we shifted just to online. Next week, we'll again take the call. We have a few, at least 4, 5 devotees.
Thank you, Prabhu.
We'll do that.